Hi, and welcome to The W. I'm Megan Alexander, and this is our final broadcast covering the McClintock murder. It's been a wild ride, but today we're wrapping it all up with some incredible features. To kick things off, we're proud to present a special report, a 2020-style documentary that dives into the events leading to the death of Brian McClintock. Written and filmed by Paul Tothill, it's a shocking story behind the headlines. Hello, 911.
Oh my god. I need an ambulance, I need police, I need fire department, I need everything at Westlake High School. He's dead.
It started off as a normal Monday morning at Westlake High School. On May 12th, Brian McClintock was discovered at the end of the hallway. Severe blows to the head, with the weapon right next to the body. But with this one discovery, we'll show that multiple discoveries leading all to one question. Why? Brian McClintock, a statistics teacher, has been using his skills to play the stock market during school hours. His colleague, Keith Schenker, though not directly involved in trading, agreed to look the other way in exchange for a share of the profits. The two invested heavily in Florida real estate, Tinsley oil field, land which turned out to contain profitable oil and gas reserves. Mr. McClintock, though with the help of Mr. Schenker, thought that he would need more hands into his operation. Mr. Schenker spotted Mr. McClintock and Anthony Marinaccio, a knowledgeable figure in the U.S. real estate law industry, looking over spreadsheets, historical documents, and Florida land deeds. Unbeknownst to Mr. Schenker, Mr. Marinaccio was promised a portion of the profits as well. Suspicious, Mr. Schenker began to feel that Mr. McClintock was hiding something, rightfully so, since he didn't know Mr. Marinaccio had joined the deal. Mary Newell, a science teacher, had separate meetings with both Brian and Keith. They had asked vague but pointed questions about the geology of Florida land and natural resource extraction. Meanwhile, Mr. Schenker had his own secret. During a recent solo trip to Florida, he negotiated a side deal to access Tinsley oil field, part of their property which contains oil and minerals that pays out royalty checks twice each month. When Mr. McClintock eventually found out, he was not very happy. He worked with Mr. Marinaccio to circumvent Mr. Schenker's claim, using forged legal documents and bank transfers to reroute future royalty payments solely to himself. Mr. Torres's copies of sheet music got mixed up with Mrs. Spiesman's state lab documents and realized some documents were Mr. Marinaccio's. Among the pages were Florida land maps and real estate documents. Mr. Marinaccio bursts in, sweating and frantic, demanding his printouts back. As tensions grew, Keith asked custodian John Costa to borrow a key to Jesse Gotte's classroom, claiming he needed to check on something for a shared student. On Friday, May 9th, the day of the murder, Mr. Schenker used the key to enter Mr. Gotte's room and steal a baseball bat, planning to use it as leverage during that evening's confrontation. That Friday night, Mr. McClintock agreed to meet Mr. Schenker to discuss a potential settlement, offering to buy Mr. Schenker out of the property rights with a monetary payoff. But Keith had no intention of leaving empty-handed. The confrontation escalated, and in a burst of rage, Mr. Schenker struck Mr. McClintock repeatedly with the stolen bat. Mr. Schenker fled the scene, dropping the bat, and returned home in a panic. Days later, Mr. Schenker was caught and brought to jail.
Welcome back. Now that you've seen how it all unfolded, let's take a closer look at the suspects. Here's anchors Luan and Charlie with a breakdown of the people who had ulterior motives.
Thanks, Megan. Here's an update on the suspects now. This is one of our suspects, Ulysses Torres, music teacher in Westlake. This is another suspect in the murder of Brian McClintock, Joanne Massey, a science teacher in Westlake. This is Dan Brady, assistant principal in Westlake, highly beloved by students. Another one of our suspects.
3 p.m. on Friday, May 9th, and 6 a.m. Monday, May 12th. And do you have an alibi to confirm where you were?
Yes. So after school that day, I went home, had dinner with my boyfriend. We lived together.
Our final suspects have been decided, and Lauren Pizzola is no longer a suspect in the murder of Brian McClintock.
We next interviewed suspect John Casto, a custodian at Westlake, and he had this to say.
Is there anything that occurred out of the ordinary these past few weeks that you would like to let us know about?
Other than Keith Schenkler borrowing my key on Friday, that would be the only thing that would be out of the ordinary.
Do you know why he borrowed the key?
I do not. He said he had a shared student and he had to get into a different classroom. And you know what? He's the principal, so I had to take his word for it and no questions asked. I gave him my key.
Who am I here with?
My name is Anthony Marinaccio. I am a teacher at Westlake High School.
Mr. Marinaccio. Have you and Mr. McClintock collaborated on anything in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. We both work for the CRA, so we collaborate on different projects. We've become friends in the last couple of years. We design projects together. We do collaborate together, absolutely.
Have you and Mr. McClintock collaborated on anything outside of school?
Sure, yeah. I mean, as we teach together, we spend time together and we become friends. We talk about some shared interests, stock markets, real estate. He's been looking at some properties in Florida, and I just bought a house, so I'm pretty intertwined with land and the housing market and different prices.
Thanks to our forensics team, we have the reasons why Mr. Schenker was our final suspect and was arrested. First, we have Schenker's name was on a home mortgage application with Mr. McClintock. Second, we have that he was getting bi-monthly deposits into his bank account from Tinsley Oil and the co-owned property. Third, we have Mr. McClintock took over the ownership of Tinsley Oil and in turn took money away from Mr. Schenker's investments for retirement. And finally, his bloody fingerprints were found on the bat, which was the murder weapon. I'm here reporting live outside Westlake High School. We're about to arrest Principal Keith Schenker for the murder of Brian McClintock. Keith Schenker.
Run.
Keith Schenker. I did not. Please, this is totally being framed. Please turn around. You guys have talked to Anthony Marinaccio. Please turn. Sir, Keith Schenker, you're being placed under arrest for the murder of Brian McClintock. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You are entitled to an attorney each and every step of the way. You cannot afford an attorney. One will be provided to you at no cost. Nonsense. What am I supposed to tell my family? I'll sue you all. You really should have left in Florida earlier. Watch your head, sir.
Crazy turn of events as Keith Schenker resisted arrest, was screaming and yelling, still saying it was Anthony Marinaccio, but we know for a fact it was Mr. Schenker. Justice was served today. Back to Megan at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Luan and Charlie. Next up, let's head over to our forensics team. Marcus and Collin are here to show us how science helped crack the case.
Thanks, Megan. Today, me and Collin will be working with the forensics team to find out who killed Mr. McClintock.
The autopsy from Westchester County Department of Labs and Research has come back. Injury appears to have resulted from a single large blow administered to the posterior of the head, delivered at an approximate 90-degree angle to the occipital bone. This fatal injury could have resulted from either a blow to the head or a fall. There was bone fragments found inside the brain tissue, and he was found dead with a bat next to him.
Keith Schenker's fingerprints were found on the baseball bat, and there were bloody fingerprints. John Casto's were found on the floor of the crime scene. Jesse Gotay's were found on the baseball bat. Anthony Marinaccio's was found on the door near the stairwell closest to the crime scene, and another one of John Casto's fingerprints were found on an elevator button. but this fingerprint was latent, meaning it was fading away. In these text messages, Mr. McClintock is confronting Mr. Shanker about suspicious Florida activities going on, and Mr. McClintock claims he is planning his move to Florida. Mr. Shanker also confronts Mr. Marinaccio about odd searches he has involving Florida, and then Mr. Shanker asks him to chat in person about them. These are all odd, and Mr. Shanker finds it very fishy.
An arrest has been made, and now we are talking to the forensics team about the evidence.
Involved with the crime, and one of the custodians, John Costa, lended his keys to Mr. Shanker.
Okay, and I heard speak of Mr. Marinaccio. Was he involved in this at all?
Mr. McClintock had talked to Mr. Marinaccio, accusing Mr. Shanker of stealing money from him.
Okay, and why do you think that Mr. Marinaccio was turned to? Do you think that he was a confidant? Do you think he had any technological information that could have led to this collaboration with Mr. McClintock?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
What subject does he teach? I forget.
he teaches U.S. history.
Okay.
And there was talk of oil deeds in Florida, and he had been teaching a similar lesson based on papers that were found in the printer.
Back to Megan at the anchor desk, where we will continue to talk about the McClintock murder.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast. Thanks for watching The W. Be sure to follow us, and we can't wait to see you all back in September.